track reviews.
Hey, hi, and hello, everyone. Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd. This is not a drill. Tyler, the Creator, is coming out with a deluxe edition of Call Me If You Get Lost. We are getting a taste of the extras from this forthcoming deluxe edition with the release of this new track, this new single over here titled Dog Tooth. We're going to listen to it. We're going to review it. We're going to give it a take. Quickly, before I get into this, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor, good people over at The Ridge. Still making these amazing, awesome, fantastic, minimalist, metal plated wallets that fit nicely in that front pocket. Replace that disgusting, filthy, vomit-inducing, bulky leather wallet today. Hit up that link down below. Promo code MELON, 10% off the order. That's all you got to know. Tyler, the Creator. Call Me If You Get Lost. One of his better records, in my opinion. Mostly because he is rapping on that project and had some really good hard-hitting production. Only a couple tracks on it that I would say I wasn't crazy about. Considering how hard-hitting and consistent the album is, I can only imagine how hard these extras are going to go. So fingers crossed, Tyler, Dogtooth, let's give it a shot. Well, okay. Damn, this is an interesting change of pace, not specifically for Tyler because I think his music in terms of its vibe, its energy, its lyrical content has changed pretty radically since he dropped Flower Boy in 2017. I mean, that's obviously a pretty far cry away from the super angry, edgy content that I'm not going to get into all the insanity of right now. Like, if you're a longtime fan, you know what records like, Goblin and Bastard sounded like in terms of what he was rapping about. And this is, definitely not the kind of thing that you hear from a lot of guys in a hip hop song, frankly. I mean, look, it's a song about sex. It's a song about having sex, sexual pleasure. It's about that. But when dudes are rapping about that, it's often like very self-centered and more about their pleasure and living out, some kind of egotistical fantasy or something else. Rarely is it about making sure that the other person is pleased. As Tyler says on the track many times in the refrain, I don't care. You can just ride my face. I don't want anything in return. Your pleasure is sort of a gift in and of itself. And, I identify, though that's neither here nor there. Look, I'll say this. Even Tyler himself is no stranger to rapping about sexual acts in a very self-centered and kind of, fantastical sort of way. Delivering it or, I guess diving into it in a way that feels less about him, more about the other person is kind of surprising, kind of different. I mean, maybe not super different in terms of the current landscape because, Ice Spice did definitely switch things up with Munch. You have a lot of people who, are recently hopping on the Munch train. And I mean, for those of us who've been Munches, there's a lot of new faces. So again, that's a change. That's an interesting switch up. But I'll say this, in terms of like groove and vocal delivery and just the essence of the production, how smooth it is, like this is a genuinely kind of sexy song from Tyler, the Creator. I mean, I know aesthetically and musically, Tyler has turned a new leaf. He has a very wide and diverse array of fans out there, but, old Tyler was very much like scaring the hose music, was very much scaring the hose music. This track over here feels a lot more like calming the hose. We are putting the hose at ease and we're even pleasing the hose. But yeah, the lazy background vocal harmonies on this thing are cute. The grand piano chords are sweet as well. The big fat hits of bass and quirky little synthesizers are a nice touch as well. It's a very well-produced track. I mean, chorus pops, verses are charismatic and clever and funny. Tyler is sounding eccentric and in a position creatively where he's really transcended his influences. You know, it used to be that his love of Pharrell and Eminem and so on and so forth was very much like bleeding out in his music from all directions. And I feel like he's really kind of defined his own sound and style at this point, and he just completely and utterly sounds like him, even down to the finest details of the beat. And if I heard another rapper on this beat, I would instantly go, is this guy like ripping off Tyler? What's going on over here? Is this like a Tyler vibe? But yeah, on top of that, I guess you could say his flow sounds smooth on the track, and there is quite a bit of topical focus here on the subject matter at hand. But yeah, beyond this, I sort of wonder what this track will do as far as like, you know, changing attitudes about, you know, just kind of sexual politics in the bedroom between men and women, which I mean, maybe is putting a bit too much responsibility on the track or putting too high expectations in terms of its potential impact. But as far as expressions of sexuality in a lot of modern music, in a lot of pop music and hip hop music, it does tend to be very self-centered, and it does tend to kind of orbit around the fantasies of men. It's only been until recently that's kind of changed, with a lot of female rappers getting more popular and just being on the come up and, you know, finally putting the things that they desire out there, and that becoming popular and that becoming well received. Now with Tyler over here, maybe the boys will start playing catch up and start expressing an eagerness to, I don't know, take part in the pleasure of others, is maybe what I'm theorizing here. Which, again, I'll say is a pretty huge shift from a lot of the discourse in and outside of music around this sort of thing. It's like there's no shortage of, you know, TikToks and YouTube shorts and stupid podcast clips where you can catch guys saying stuff like,
I don't even know how to make a woman come, bro. Is the female orgasm even real?
But I suppose that's a side diatribe, but a relevant one, given that this isn't the type of thing that you usually hear in this sort of song. And it's even better that it's being said in a pretty good song, a pretty good extra from what I hope is going to be a very gratifying deluxe edition of this album. Digging on this track, let me know your thoughts on it down in the comments below. You're the best. Over here next to my head is another video that you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, Tyler the Creator, Dogtooth, forever.